Touchdown, CS.
Are you Anthony?
Rachel.
So where's everybody else at?
There's the reverse that's real tricky.
It's a counter.
There goes that reverse spin, man. That's the best play.
I had one guy to beat.
Well, go.
It was a counter.
Wasting time here, what? They get me so screwed up sometimes.
Look at him just outrunning. That's it. Every single, that's the only play they run. And Silver Valley cannot figure it out. They're stupid.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, yeah.
How can you do that? How can you fall right in front of the guy? Did you hear him?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Got a full recovery.
Oh!
Yeah. No.
You need to stop here! You need to stop! Coming outside!
I can't. She hates me. I got it. It's so nice. Thank you so much. I like
Get him!
You got 34 turning out.
About 11:30, 11:25.
Nightline continues from Times Square. Now, Martin Bashir.
It's a pleasure to join Cynthia and Terry here at Nightline. Many of us tonight were glued to the Monday night football game. We hear a lot these days about the bad side of sports. But tonight we're going to tell you an extraordinary story about a group of young men who might just help renew your faith in the purpose and the power of the game. A cold night in California, and like high schools across the country, it's game on for the Riverside Cubs. But for these players, the frenzy under the Friday night lights,
Come on, boy!
sounds more like this.
The two guys on the line of scrimmage. We got.
That's because the team, the coaches and the cheerleaders are deaf. Their opponents, Lakeside, believe they have the upper hand. Lakeside is a hearing team.
But they have a disadvantage because they can't hear like who's coming and stuff, but I don't know.
Really? The Riverside Cubs, captained by Nathan Maffioli, trounce Lakeside 68-0. Do you think that when people come to play you, they perhaps take you less seriously because you don't hear?
Once we're on the field, we have to prove them wrong because we're deaf.
After Nathan's parents, Linda and Jim, discovered their son couldn't hear, they felt it would be best if he attended a mainstream hearing school. But that was tough on Nathan.
And one child looked at another, who was a new one, and he said, "That kid's the stupidest kid." And I realized that for Nathan, mainstreaming, at least at that particular age, was going to be like that.
So they ended up here at California School for the Deaf. And Nathan was elated when he learned,
We have football here, and I play football.
but for years the Riverside Cubs were the laughingstock of their league. Keith Adams is the head coach.
Sadly enough, I arrived here and we were 0-10.
Coach Adams began the task of transforming the team's mindset.
For many years, it was the same thing, losing and losing. Every day I would say, you can do it, you can do it.
But there are specific challenges for a deaf football team.
You guys for sure play the whistle. Might be a little slow on the whistle for these guys. Don't get pissed off and mad.
They can't hear the referee's whistle.
One time last season, their quarterback stopped dead for no reason. Our players were shocked, and then their quarterback started running again. Our players were confused. They ran for a touchdown, and I was so upset.
Coach tells his players to focus on the ball at all times. Daily encouragement, tough practices, and something amazing happened. The team began to win, and win, and win. The team now embraces its uniqueness, from their deaf cheerleading squad to their touchdown celebration. They bang a bass drum on the sideline.
Pow, pow. The drums make us feel connected.
Do you feel the vibration?
It feels good.
But there are moments when Jim Maffioli wishes his son could hear the crowd.
And he has no idea of the pride that everybody, all of us, had in us for him and for the team. There's moments where you wish that he would hear the applause.
So successful has the team become that some anxious rivals have tried to read Coach Adams' sign language to his players.
Last year, we went into the playoffs, our first round, and the other team brought its own interpreter. And we thought,
How angry were you?
I wasn't angry. I thought, oh, wow. And I realized they'd do anything to steal our signs.
It's the final game of the season. At 9 wins and 0 losses, the team is on the cusp of completing its first ever undefeated season. They suit up, go over strategy. And then, hand in hand, head out to the field. Riverside scores touchdown after touchdown. And on defense, Nathan makes hit after hit. Final score, 52-0.
I believe that every time our team walks off that field, there's a newfound respect.
Of course deaf people can do it. It's a negative because we can't hear. But we can play hearing teams.
A friendly field invasion follows the end of the game. Jim Maffioli searches for his son. And when he finds him, he signs simply, "I'm very proud of you." And Nathan replies, "Thanks, Dad."
I think that we're both extremely fortunate that we were met with this challenge, to have this beautiful boy.
Are you proud of him?
Every day. Every day.
A remarkable group of young men with an uncommon bond. When we come back, duck and cover. Is the Supreme Court starting to fall? Why crumbling marble is tonight.
Welcome back, everybody. A special Saturday edition of the Sports Zone. The NFL handed out $16,000 to high school programs this year. As part of our ABC7 Coach of the Week program, we saved the best for last. Our Kurt Sandoval joins us from our ABC studios in Glendale for our Coach of the Year award. Curtis.
Well, Rob, imagine playing football if you couldn't hear the quarterback call the play, or imagine not being able to hear the whistle blow. Welcome to the world of Keith Adams, our Coach of the Year. He led the Riverside School of the Deaf to its best season in school history, and he has no problem communicating with his players as he, too, is deaf.
What looks like a typical high school football practice is anything but typical. Coach Keith Adams will never need a whistle at practice, but he does have every player's complete and undivided attention.
Before, the attitude was, hearing people are better than we are. And we said, no, the only thing you can't do is hear. That's all.
Adams was born deaf, and every one of his players hears this when he talks. The California School for the Deaf in Riverside won the division title last year for the first time in the 53-year history of the school. This year, they have each other's back.
The reason they say no fluke, because last year we were 9-2, and they were wondering whether we were a good team or not. So that's why we know it's not a fluke. Right, guys?
Every player coming into the team's locker room is reminded of last year's success. Today, this deaf team is making plenty of noise. They're undefeated. Their success rages through campus like a firestorm. Highlights play at lunch in the cafeteria. And as you can see, everyone is talking about it. They call themselves Riverside's Band of Brothers. This state-funded school attracts deaf students from San Diego to San Luis Obispo. So some actually have to live on campus, and the classroom size is more intimate than a huddle.
Yes, very good. Good job. In World War II, yes, the Olympics were held there.
You'll notice a few subtle differences at the games. There's no need for a public address announcer. The quarterback touches the center to snap the football. Their biggest issue is knowing when to stop on each play.
Before the games, I always talk to the officials and let them know when you blow the whistle, signal to the players, wave your hands or tap them or something, because they might tackle somebody unaware.
After a perfect regular season, their only loss came in the first round of the playoffs.
Believing in yourself will lead to success. It's not about winning or losing on the field, it's about your life, and that's the key.
That's why Keith Adams is our ABC7 NFL Coach of the Year. Gene Washington from the National Football League flew in to present the award in front of the entire school in Riverside.
You only have 21 players on the team. That has to be a little difficult for you.
I always tell the players that they need to get themselves in shape, exercise, be ready to play both positions, offensive and defensive. And sometimes I have to use some of the other coaches from practice to get the managers in.
I'm going to make a presentation that all of us in the National Football League are proud to present to you, a check for $1,000 for your program. And I know that you have a lot of good ways to spend this money, and congratulations from the National Football League.
Rob, coincidentally, when I was growing up, one of my best friends was deaf. So when I met this team, I actually signed my name saying, "Hi, I'm Curtsandoval." They cheered. Yeah. It was really important to me to explain that, not because of me, because of the impact this team has had on the entire deaf community and how overwhelmed the deaf community is by their success. Rob, reporting live from the newsroom, back to you.
Yeah, I remember when you told me that story, Curtis. It almost brought a tear to your eye. Very emotional moment, and I think you touched them as well.